And we got the main event: Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland. Just a match that kind of represents so much. Two best black wrestlers in wrestling, maybe of all time. Who knows?
As far as the in ring situation, well, non-Aja Khan division.
Yeah, like this
Got
is
it. That's a little tricky. That's a little
yeah,
tricky.
yeah. This is
But yeah,
like
yeah.
these guys have never really had a major match before. They've wrestled at
Mm-hmm.
MLW, but that doesn't really count. Come on, it's MLW. But first time on national
I think they said.
television, they
I think they said
really
this was their third match.
yeah. First time on national television, they really got to it like an extended, like, hey, this is a
Mm-hmm.
spotlight feature on you guys. And what they did kind of from the moment the match started was establish Ricochet is unpredictable. He will take chances. Swerve's over as fuck in the building. This is his house. Literally, he drew it. I got a really cool camera angle from where I was standing. I was going around the crowd with my phone, and then I focused on Swerve, and all of a sudden Ricochet just comes out of nowhere with that chair, hits him, and then we're off to the races.
Mm-hmm.
We get bump after big bump in this thing. Like we get the
The
counters.
barricade powerbomb was nuts.
I'll get that in a second. Like there was this sick counter with the drop kick and the off the ropes, like that where they just it seemed like they both jumped 10 feet in the air and just Ricochet stops them. Ricochet seems like he has a renewed charisma ever since turning. He feels so much more natural. There's not the pressure on him to be as much of an acrobat, but he's still one of one in that regard. And then I think Swerve, like the way he kind of like laid this out, it was just like it was a perfect main event, like kind of for like this, like what the story they were telling. And as you
Yeah,
mentioned, that barricade power bomb, like Ricochet thinks he's about to give him this Hurricanrana
Hurricane
on this
Rana.
shit because he's done it before. He's done it to Will Ospreay. Ospreay's done this. Swerve and Ospreay had the same kind of idea in their match that they did at Forbidden Door. But Swerve's like, nah, fuck all that. And just holds them. This is incredible basing. Like
Yeah.
power bombs this nigga on the fucking barricade and just everyone's in disbelief. Like I can't believe that Ricochet was like, yeah, I'll sign up and do that. But he did it.
So he is wrestling nigga that got powerbombed on a brick
That's
like
true.
5 months ago.
That is
So
true.
there's that.
Um, and these two just proceed to just have like these two separate spots. I think in the match, like when I'm watching it, I'm watching this match in person, watch it back on TV, but in person, I just really felt like Swerve really owned the crowd. There was a time where he was just like pointing across the audience, and it was like, yo, this is like one of the biggest baby faces I've ever seen. Like it. Then I see Ricochet completely like invert that energy, and they're giving it to him. Like, and it's like this guy's gonna go to a level that I never saw for him or has potential to
Mhm.
in AEW. And it's just like the finish that they do is so creative.
Yep.
And it's like, if you want to protect somebody, this is a genius way to do it. And it's a way to like not feel ripped off and give Ricochet heat from it because it's like it was
Yep.
an accident.
And
And
it immediately wants you and you immediately want another match for the
yes,
babyface. Yep.
they
Yep.
set up the second match for them. Ricochet gets the win after the Spirit Gun. And before that whole sequence, like it looks like Swerve's about to finish him off. Gives him the house call. He's going all around essentially about to wrap this up and be done with him. That block breathes new life into Ricochet. Ricochet's got this look on his face like I can't believe this shit worked. Like I can't believe I
Well,
fooled the
I
ref. Essentially,
I
I found money.
I no, his face was that like I didn't mean to do that, but
I'll
he's
take
hurt,
it.
so fuck him. Right. It was one of those. So when I watched the match, I didn't think like when Swerve went up because like Ricochet had the advantage because he was going for the spirit gun, and then he ends up catching his counter with a house call. So he goes back up for what would have been the second Swerve stomp of the night, and I was like, at that time I was like, this match is ending right here. I think Ricochet is gonna have some crazy like counter for it. And then like when he came down, I thought that he was rolling through and grabbing the legs and going to a leg submission like on some Bret Hart shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned out to be a low blow. And I was like, and I saw the fans like, oh, this is so good. He like this is flat. He got lucky. He didn't realize it happened. Like, but I thought he was gonna like put him in submission, but it still worked because he got out of it and then he got the win. And it's like it's cheap and it's effective and people are gonna remember this. And like the match was ultimately like Ricochet is. He told him like going into his like this is gonna be some athletic exhibition. It's gonna be a fight, and for the most part, this is Ricochet like in this new character facing the dude that's built as the most dangerous person in AEW. And like this match was absolutely like he had to go toe to toe with in a brawl, ugly wrestling match with this guy, in a strike fest or whatever else, and like he fared better than you would have imagined him, like given when he first came into AEW. And it's also fits with his character. Like, of course, he's not there yet, but he ends up finding a way out because, like, this character is like. I feel like maybe I'm projecting, but I feel there are undertones of Drake and Kendrick going on with this. Like, Ricochet is not actually tough. He's giving you bravado that he is, and then like at times when you see glimpses of it, you see him break. Like the backside, like, hey man, when he does the hey man like that, you know,
Don't be
like
talking about
he
me
does
like
that,
that, man.
yeah, like that. Like it's the he's giving you this. He's giving you light skin. He's at different points. He's dropping the veil and giving you like fragile light skin at people at times. And then like this match happens and it's like, oh, he got lucky. And like I think that is like quite honestly, I said this to you, months ago. Like this is more character work I've ever seen from Ricochet. Compelling character work I've ever seen from Ricochet than I've ever seen from him. And I've been watching him since 2017 at the latest.
It's like who else is going to sign up for who else is signing up for the Swerve Strickland stimulus package at this point?
Yeah, he's a kingmaker. So yeah, like this is awesome. I want to see the rematch. He also takes the Nana jacket or robe.
This is a huge part of this.
For heat, for even more heat.
And when Ricochet's walking off wearing that thing, it feels like that man is like ascended to another level of evil, and like also like, hey man, maybe this guy's a lot bigger problem than what we accounted for.
Well, I think that yes, he's ascended, and also, oh buddy, you finna pay. You finna pay. But yeah, like, right now for me, Ricochet and Saya Kamatani right now are like the two biggest like vulnerable heels in wrestling right now, as far as the best ones working right now, where it's like there's clearly some like they can wrestle in matches and go toe to toe with people, but in their heart of hearts they're either given a easy way out or gonna find an easier way out, and they take it. Like their character is like they're so easy, like they're so punchable, they're so face punchable. Like it's really well done by both of them right now. You got to see the Suzu match with Kamatani or whatever. It's like she's figured it out. Like she's gonna give you the annoying stuff that you like. I mean, you wish you see it, and then like the last 2/3 of the match is like this is just Kamatani that you've always known and loved. Like this, she's figured it out. She's figured out the right modulation for this to make this work, and the crowd fucking loves her by being this chicken shit that she is right now. I'm saying Ricochet, like he's over, but he's getting the actual boos from this American crowd. Like they don't like that dude. They think he's a bitch. He's a bitch.
And I think that
that's what the character is meant to do. The character is communicating everything that it's meant to. It's been very effective. It's been I think 2 months ago when we had Suit on here, we were like, hey man, is this the beginning of the end of Ricochet? And like, nah, he reinvented himself.
Yeah, and I think another factor on this is that these guys are generational rivals. Don't let it fool you in like as far as like the lack of matches they've ever had. They've been measuring themselves against each other for 15 years. Like in the independents, in WWE, now in AEW. Like there's a professional rivalry here. And I was fortunate to talk to both of them after the match kind of, and it was like what I gathered was like the instant chemistry that they have. They've been building this up without even touching each other for 15 years because like we at one time knew Ricochet as the most spectacular wrestler in the world, maybe at that time or whatever, and for many years or whatever, a decade damn near, right? And what Swerve is like started to stack on top of each other with these killer feuds, with the killer matches to match, like it's like the reps that he's put in doing this, like it's almost like that Danielson promo where he talks about Eddie Kingston. It's like, these guys have been putting in the work, so of course it's going to work on game day. Like when it comes time for the big match, that you drew the fucking big building, that basically people are using this to prove you are the star that you claim you are, and you can say, this was our place tonight or whatever. I think this is like them being generational rivals are like, and Ospreay's a part of this too or whatever. You know, he's linked to all these guys too. Like there's a really cool dynamic of flipping these guys just and putting them against each other in creative ways, because like you could easily do Ricochet versus Swerve Strickland athletic marvel. Let's go out there and just, you know, let's go for 50 essentially, right? Not only are they not doing that like in those specific words, they're like, we're going to give you 50 in the story leading to it, and
this is more effective.
Like, we're going to, like, completely change Ricochet and rebirth his entire career. Swerve is actually, like, barely loses on TV. They put his record on screen on Dynamite. They were like, he's like 21-1 over his last, like, 22 Dynamite matches. So when he loses here, it's really effective. So, like, I think what they're doing, we're only halfway there. We're only halfway there. So
yeah, after this, I was like, they have a match at Revolution. They have to
get ready, like Revolution for sure. Like, you know, run it back, DJ. But yeah, that's gonna be a huge Staples Center. I don't even want to know what the entrance is gonna look like, as far, or the gear is gonna look like, or you know how it's gonna like play out towards the end. This only gives Ricochet more license to be more of a menace over the next couple of weeks. And it already started when he ran up on Bun B on Collision about the burgers and shit.
I saw that, yeah.
Like, man, we are like, we got the makings, like, and then let's talk about the other part.
Like,
two black
Ricochet
men
coming out of this. Ricochet coming out of this is like, I thought he was dead in the water 2 months ago.
Same. Like, I thought it was like, I thought it was the end of like, you know, me enjoying this guy or whatever. Like, I thought it was like, yeah, man, you can't be, because I just didn't know, like, I don't know Ricochet or anything. So it was like, can you convince him to be something different? I don't know.
And he be something different after being that for so long.
Right.
Because that made him, you know, a legend around the world.
Right. So it's like, all right, if you're going to do something completely new, all right, take us on the ride. And these two have knocked it out of the park.
I did not expect it to be like, I thought we all were like, he has to pivot, and like, I didn't think the pivot, whatever it was going to be this successful. Like, shout out to everybody involved in this, because like this, I think he comes out of this, you know, as some type of like title player. Like, he has to be factored in on the heel side now. It's like a top 4 heel in the company, like, on the individual side after this. Like if this continues the way it's going, you know what I mean? Like, they have a match as good as what they just had, like in Staples. Oh man, they're liable to have a better match.
Yeah. You know, people were in the crowd are bringing it up. 2 black men in the main event in Atlanta. I mean, you know, I don't think anybody had like, I don't think that was necessarily a like it was.
This wasn't a mandate. This was like built towards.
Yeah,
for a while.
Like, it wasn't a secret. Like, I don't think I think there was that symbolism there, but it wasn't necessarily like.
When did the C2 start?
C2 started right after Full Gear.
So yeah, so this started like in November.
Yeah.
This stuff all started in November.
So it's like, you know, that's there if you want it, you know, but that wasn't necessarily like the thing. It was like, yeah, it's Atlanta. You probably should do this, right? But everything lined up. much like
everything lines up. Everything lined up perfectly. It was the right place at the right time to do it, and also to continue to get to Revolution as well. The real goal is probably at Revolution. He's like, let's throw this here too as well. Add to it. It did. It was great.
yeah,
Like this is the top feud. This is the top feud in American pro wrestling right now to me.
absolutely. It ain't the Death Riders. I can tell you that. And Cope, like it ain't.
Like don't get me wrong. I really like what Gunther's doing with Jay White or Jay Uso right now, but
nah, two different things. But yeah, like
that is like, you know, Gunther, or like that is like just, you know, exceeding expectations. This is like you have expectations because of just the names together, and then they're changing who they are, and then this shit is working.
and
Like,
it's like
I don't give a fuck about that card that Hurt Syndicate card anymore. I don't give a fuck about it. He's his own person. He don't need them. He can be on his own.
yeah, like it's like if you could hear the building and how they were reacting to these guys, like I think that's like anybody that was in that building can tell you. And shout out to One Nation Radio listener Heavenly Halbert, who I actually got to meet in person there. That was a really cool experience for me. That what he told me and all that, but like I saw the way the people were reacting, and it was like there was a Trish and Sarah shirt front row.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was pretty cool. But the way they were reacting to them in the ring, it was like this is their fucking building, and it was just like I was there at this show, and I was looking for something in pro wrestling to really grab me, and this like grabbed me, and I was like, wow, I get to go, like hang out after the show with at least one of them, maybe both. And I ended up, I'll cut it off there. But yeah, it was like, yeah, man, this is cool. I actually watched the match with the weirdest combo of people. You can roll the dice and come up with this combo of 4 people. So one person that I was very excited to meet, that I just kind of saw walking around. Apparently, he works for AEW. Scotty Riggs from WCW.
Really?
Yeah. Bagwell's tag partner, also in the flock or whatever. Talked to him a couple times, slap fives with him. I watched the match with him, a friend of mine, and Samantha. So she was like right in front of me as we were watching the match. And it was like, oh, that's interesting. So, yeah, it was a unique night, man. I had a lot of fun. So, I enjoyed rewatching it on TV as well. But the in-building experience was invaluable for especially this match.
Yeah, man. I didn't watch Collision, but heard it was great.